So keeping it moving, who to sell now? We're trying to help you maximize your sports cards profits every week, and every week we're gonna talk about who to sell now. I think this is something that is like a no-brainer topic as a segment. It can be quick, it can be long, whatever we want. Mine's gonna be really quick this week. Baker Mayfield, man. If you haven't sold Baker Mayfield yet, I think you got to sell Baker Mayfield. I could be wrong on this one. I know there's a lot of people buying Baker Mayfield with the hopes that he's going to earn the starting gig in Carolina and do something there. But I just think, you got to sell the hype. You got to sell the hype cycles I think, Kendall, you just made a point about hockey being one of the remaining sports that people can kind of look at the same types of opportunities we were all looking at 2-3 years ago. Now everyone's wised up to the point where like we all sort of know what to do in terms of these hype cycles in the major sports. I think that like sometimes though we forget which end of the hype cycle we want to be on. What's the smarter end of the Baker Mayfield hype cycle to be on? The buying or the selling? And to me, it's the selling because, and I also look at it this way. If you've been holding a guy for a long time, waiting for something to happen, which all the Baker Mayfield, you got to think about it this way. Regardless of what Baker Mayfield does in the NFL, think about the fact that over the last 12 months, like 12 months ago, Baker was a hot buy. He was a big time hot buy. And then he didn't perform. And so because of not performing, he was in a situation where all the people that invested in him have been holding him, waiting for something to happen to sell him. And so I think that if you're one of those people, you have to take advantage of that. Even if you're down on Baker from where you bought him a year ago, now is the time where he's ticked up a little bit, depending on what card you have. Now's the opportunity to get rid of the guy. I also just don't see him doing anything in Carolina. I don't see Carolina doing anything. The only caveat to what I'm saying is like, if you want to wait until, if your strategy is like, I hear you, Paul, on Baker, I don't believe he's going to be awesome, but I want to try to make a little bit more money on him. And I think that there could be a little bit more profit waiting until maybe he does get officially named the starter when those announcements come during the NFL preseason and then selling. I would be okay with that, but Baker is my sell of the week, and I probably won't talk very much about Baker after this, so that's another reason why I wanted him to be my sell of the week.
Yeah, I think there are some interesting storylines with the Baker situation. Because Higgins is also there, which was one of his favorite targets in Cleveland. And so that's interesting. First off, I think no one's really talking about that. The Higgins and Baker connection could be back in Carolina, which he played really well at times with Higgins. But interestingly, I still don't think it's going to be more or less a battle he's still going to have to beat Sam Darnold out. And now that's telling you where it's come a long way from the Baker show, where he was drafted as a number 1 overall pick. And it's also come a long way for Sam Darnold. 5 years ago, we would have, if you would have said, yeah, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, same team, you're going to be like, holy cow. How did that happen? And who the heck is going to be the starter? And one of them has to be shipped out. It's like, oh, actually, no, both of them have been shipped in to compete for the number 1 spot, which says a lot about where their careers are at. But I'm not convinced that Baker is automatically going to be the starter. Now, where I would sell, I think you do have a point there where I would wait maybe a little bit further until, maybe there's a new Geico commercial or something with Baker in the Panthers uniform or some sort of media presence to where he's, got some sort of Instagram where he's, maybe he follows like a Superman pose like Cam Newton. He does that, but it's Baker. I could see them doing something like that where it's like, hey, this is a new man in town. Carolina, you have a reason to be pumped up. Carolina's going to try to pump him up as best they can. I think that would be the best opportunity. But if you've got the opportunity right now to hedge your stop loss a little bit, if you invested last summer and now you're like, oh God, like, and 5 months ago you were basically had a piece of toilet paper in your hand. Now you don't have a piece of toilet paper. You might want to get out while the getting's good.
Yeah,
uh,
especially if you got a big card and you can find the right buyer, you know.
yeah. So I'm with you to a degree. So I'll say that. But my sell of the week is Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is on a tear. And I'm not saying that Aaron Judge is not going to be good for a long time, but Aaron Judge, like, you've got an opportunity to buy into another guy who hasn't exploded yet. Like, he is on fire. You might well could just name your price on an Aaron Judge card and get whatever the heck you want for it. Like, he's insane, and there's no guarantee that he's going to be a Yankee going forward. He's in pinstripes right now. Yankee fans are like, I'll do anything to buy a Yankee Judge or a Yankee Judge card and have him be a Judge and just stay in this euphoria that he's going to be a Yankee forever. I don't think he will be. I think he's on the move this offseason, or at least, in the next couple of years. And they might extend him a small extension, but Aaron Judge is going to get his money. And for the first time ever, I think the Yankees will not end up paying him. And I think you'll end up seeing a situation where he will be lining up in a different uniform someday. And so if you have an opportunity to make a fat stack on Aaron Judge, I would do it.
That is a great call, my friend. I love that. That's a perfect example of exactly how you should play the sports card market and maximize your profits, because Judge, like you said, he's on a tear. There's about to be the home run derby in the All-Star break next week. A week from today, I think, is the home run derby. And so
my favorite time to sell baseball players is at the All-Star break, because baseball is so long. And if they are mooning right now, this is the same thing I did with Shohei last June or last July.
Yep.
Like right as the All-Star break was happening, I got out of almost every one of my Shohei cards. Now, I mean, I was afraid of injury, like what happens, and I had 90% profit on some of these things. And I'm not going to wait for another 10% when the risk is so high at that point. Like, get your bag while you have it. Like, what did Paul say a couple weeks ago? Crystallize it.
Crystallize
those profits, man. Like, this, don't be so prideful. Like, don't think you're smart enough to realize that the chance could happen where Aaron Judge gets hurt tomorrow.
Yeah. Like, and even like, I think that I agree. Like, the odds that he continues to perform like this are not high. Also, even if he does continue to perform like this, it doesn't mean that his card value is just going to continue to go up.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a 10% more ceiling, maybe. But, like, dude, probably from where you bought Aaron Judge, this is the best time in the world to sell him.
Yeah, love it. All right, let's move along to